channel changes in some respects and doesn't change in other respects. I think the biggest message I'd want to give is that the channel is thriving, successful, by the way, particularly in India. And the channel's core job is to supply whatever technology customers want when they want it, to supply, to install, to maintain, to secure, to service. And that actually hasn't changed for 30 or 40 years, the same job as previously. But what's changed is the tech industry has changed. The tech industry used to be quite narrow, PC, printer, networking, and has now exploded into a whole conglomeration of items. Obviously in things to storage, but in cybersecurity, now with AI, verticalized solutions around healthcare and finance and many other sectors. So the channel thrives because the technology industry thrives and every company becomes a tech industry. What's changing, of course, is the role of software is probably more important than it used to be. A lot of the software is sold as a subscription rather than as a purchase or as a license. So the job of managing subscriptions is really key for the channel. So the channel's role has evolved, but I wouldn't say changed so much. Over the next 12 months, there's only one requirement. That's artificial intelligence. The pace of innovation is dramatic. And I said on stage today at the conference, if you're not using AI every day, then you should probably resign because you've let your skills fall behind and other people will overtake you. Well, I guess the biggest thing that's changed in the last 12 months is the cost of money. Interest rates are high around the world, and that's certainly changed the dynamics of markets. Cash is king. Companies with cash and that are profitable will thrive. Those bubble type companies, let's talk about WeWork, for example, that were funded by somebody else in the idea to get big and rich quick, but never were profitable. Those are the kind of companies that are in serious trouble now. Money is hard to come by. We also suspect there's going to be a problem in the private equity space. People in private equity want returns over 3 years. They got spoiled during the era of cheap money, and now they're unable to move on their assets. So there's a lot of high valuation private equity companies that are overvalued, and a time of reckoning will come. Traditionally, the channel's thought of as a multiplier. The more channel partners we have, the more customers they will meet for us, and we will expand our market reach. Interestingly, as the economy, maybe not in India, but around the world, the economy has become tougher. Also, what we've seen are vendors recognizing that they need the partners to save them internal cost. It is cheaper to sell through partners than to employ your own salespeople. And we've seen a number of vendors, including Dell with its storage for partners first strategy, IBM with its decision to try and get from 40% to 80% of sales through ecosystem partners as a change. And we've seen other vendors too reduce internal costs and rely more on the channel. So the channel does two things. It multiplies market reach, but it also saves vendors cost. It's the most efficient route to market. Yeah, the Asia Pacific region is large, and something over 60% of the population of the world live in Asia Pacific. It's quite hard to generalize. There are some countries like Japan, Korea, China, with aging populations, relatively rich economies, but those economies are slowing. For example, the property crisis in China is a key issue. There are challenges, and some of the partners will see business decline, so businesses pause. But also in Asia, we have fast growth countries, including India, but also where we are today, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, all doing incredibly well. And there it's still quite common for channel partners to be growing 20-30%. So it's really hard to generalize across the whole region. You see a mix of different approaches. Some need to consolidate and manage costs carefully, others need to expand. But one of the key points about most partners is they're privately owned. Remember 2 years ago we were talking about the competition for talent and the shortage of talent. Suddenly, some of the vendors have been laying off staff. Graduates are not finding it as easy to get jobs as they used to. And actually, for a private company, now is a really good time to recruit those skills and set yourselves up for the next decade. Well, one, ongoing cybersecurity. The number of successful attacks is going up. We saw what happened in the Australian ports a couple of weeks ago, many other examples. So every customer needs to double down on security, and it's not getting easier, it's getting more and more complex. There are so many cybersecurity vendors out there, but they're not really working well enough together in order to provide customers with a common platform. So we're calling for a common platform to be developed to allow these products to work together. So that's one big trend. But the number one mega trend is generative AI. Absolutely huge opportunity. We've seen AI, we're really lucky to be in tech. There's always something new. Crypto collapsed, and we've repurposed all those GPU into generative AI, large language model learnings. That is where the industry is heading. Microsoft has a huge advantage here because it knows so much about every customer, the emails they send, the spreadsheets they produce, the PowerPoints they make. And Microsoft's launching lots of AI solutions, ChatGPT, but also Copilot, Bing Chat Enterprise. That's where to be. Go and show your customers how amazing AI can be for their business. Well, I think number one, we said everything is about AI. Recruit staff if you can, but more importantly, keep your own skills up to date. That is the number one priority. If you're falling behind with your own skill set, you can't be a leader of the future. Again, I'm repeating the cybersecurity message. Those are the two growth areas, major growth areas. One I haven't mentioned so much is ongoing Wi-Fi is a strong market. Companies like Aruba, Meraki, Cisco are having growth in Wi-Fi. Everywhere needs good Wi-Fi. And if the Wi-Fi is 5 years old in a hotel, people don't want to stay in that hotel. Doesn't matter how good the food or the rest of the service is. So Wi-Fi installations, but not just in hotels, in hospitals, in shopping malls, in offices, in universities and schools, everywhere is another major opportunity. And then we will also start to see a recovery of the devices business. It was booming during COVID, now it's declined. But we're into a 3-year replacement cycle from COVID pretty soon, and we will start to see those markets come back. So there's lots of optimism, lots of places to go. Listen to your customers, provide them with what you want. That's what the channel does. As long as you keep providing the customers with what you want, you will have a brighter future, and the channel will continue to grow across the world.